Hey, my name is King. On this episode of the Otaku Experience, the first anime season of 2024, winter starts in just a couple of weeks, so what shows should you be keeping a lookout for? The Boy and the Heron is already killing it on the awards circuit, and according to Gege himself, the Jujutsu Kaisen manga will be over within a year. All of that and much, much more. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Otaku Experience, the anime non-news show where we talk about the current goings-on in the anime and the manga industry with our very uneducated opinions. Of course, I am your host, Israel, and listen, I'm looking in the preview of OBS, and I'm looking at my mustache, and everybody in my life has been just talking to me about this mustache. Some people love it, some people, the majority of people, want me to shave it off and just get rid of it altogether. I like it. It's starting to cover up my top lip. I feel like Gandalf. I feel like wise. I don't think I am, but I feel wise. So I'm going to keep it. Anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. But anyways, guys, like I was just saying, well, first we're going to get into the main part of the show now. But like I was just saying, in just a couple of weeks, the 2023 anime circuit will be over. It was a crazy journey. And I would say, even though I didn't see all of the shows that I wanted to, this is probably, of me being an anime fan, this is probably like the worst year for me in terms of how many shows I watched. I didn't watch many. And many for my standards. I still watch, probably close to 40 shows. But, usually I watch more than that. Or did I say 40 shows? No, 28 shows. 40 is my standard for movies. I didn't watch 40 shows. That'd be crazy. But anyways, even though I didn't see a whole bunch of shows, I still think that it was still a pretty decent year for the medium. Looking at the amount of shows that captured the eyes and moved over into the main pop culture, like Oshinoko, Jujutsu Kaisen, obviously, Attack on Titan ending, as well as newcomers that just purely out of reviews are just have so much praise being thrown at them, like Heron, like Vinland Saga, those types of shows. And so overall, I think it's been a pretty solid and pretty decent year for the medium. And we will definitely be doing a, end of 2023 video the closer we get to the new year. But that means that 2024 is coming, starting with the winter 2024 anime season. Welcome, guys, to 2024. What the heck, dude? So if you guys haven't seen an episode of the Otaku Experience where I go over what's going on in a new anime season, this is what we do usually around a month before. This was a little bit later. These shows are coming out, within 2 to 3 weeks. But it's still, still a fair ways off. This is going to be my recommendations, what I'm going to watch, as well as what I think you should keep a lookout for like dark horse candidates that could make it really big in the year. Because we've seen that before where an anime does not really seem to be all that popular beforehand. And then not that it becomes the most popular season of the year, but it becomes, one of the main shows that people talk about. And I think that can be interesting. Like, I know that it didn't turn out the greatest for most people, but Wonder Egg Priority back in 2021, that was an original show that before it came out had no hype behind it. I mean, very few from people who just liked Cloverworks, who thought the animation looked cool, but not really a lot of hype around it because no one knew what it was and all the trailers were very mysterious. But once the show aired and that first episode came out, a lot of people were like, what the heck is this? And so more people watched it. And over the course of the weeks, it just kept building up an audience to the point where by the end of the season, it was in like the top 5 most watched shows that season. And we can definitely see, that happen in a lot of anime seasons where anime that you're not keeping an eye out for sneak up on you and punch you in the face. But anyways, before I start, just because of the last time that we did this, I just want to make sure that you guys know that I, of course, am biased. Everyone is. And so my biases might be a little different from yours. So there are going to be shows where, if it doesn't sound interesting to me, I'll give it the benefit of the doubt just purely based on my tastes. And there are going to be shows that that I might not be interested in or that sound okay, but just from my previous experience and my taste in different genres, I'll choose to still not to watch. And that might be different from you. I got comments last time we did this where people were saying like, oh my gosh, you're so biased in how you choose the shows you're going to watch. I'm like, everyone is, bro. Just because I'm not like a big isekai fan, that doesn't mean that I'm like that doesn't mean I hate isekai or I'm like a super biased person. It's just if an isekai thing does not like capture me all the way just based on my experience with isekai, I choose not to watch it. I make this a joke, in almost every episode of the Otaku Experience, but I actively try to avoid isekai. And it's true. I do that purely because I don't like to do that. But anyways, here we go. Starting with number one, a show that I am already soured on, and I'll explain in a second, Solo Leveling. And this is coming to us from A1 Pictures, and it starts in 19 days. The reason why I'm soured on Solo Leveling is because, if you guys don't know, on my YouTube channel, Kingtanic, let me pull it up for you. On my YouTube channel, I have done a lot of Sword Art Online videos. It's my favorite anime, so I talk about it all the time. Like Saturday videos here and here. There's a Saturday up there. More Sword Art Online here. It's a show I talk about all the time. And in a lot of these videos, because, I've done like 50 of them, every now and then there'll be comments that are just like, bro, just wait till Solo Leveling. It's like Sword Art Online, but good. And I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm just not going to watch it. Now, I'm not going to not watch it because it's going to be one of the biggest anime of the season. It's the most anticipated one. So I can't just miss it. That'd be me like not watching, like, that'd be like a journalist not covering like the latest Marvel film. Even though those films, well, I guess not now, but a couple years ago, those films were like the biggest things that were coming out. That'd be like this. That'd be me skipping this. Like, yeah, let me just skip the most anticipated anime of one season. So I'm not going to skip it, but I'm not going to hold myself to watch it if I'm not interested. I know with a lot of these really higher up shows, I usually choose to watch them all the way through purely for the conversation in the community. But if with Solo Leveling, just because I'm so soured on it already, if I'm just kind of like, yeah, it's okay, I'm probably just going to stop watching it. So don't hate me, but it's your fault. So you guys, you fans, you killed it. It's your fault. Anyways, so let's read the synopsis if you don't know anything about Solo Leveling. It's been over a decade since the sudden appearance of the gates, the paths that connect our world with a different dimension. Since then, certain humans have awakened to supernatural powers. We call these individuals hunters. Hunters make their living by using their powers to conquer dungeons inside the gates. In this world of tough customers, the low-ranked hunter Shun Mizushino is known as the weakest hunter of all mankind. One day, Shun gets fatally injured when he runs into a high-ranked doubled dungeons hidden within a low-ranked dungeon. Just then, a mysterious quest window appears in front of him. On the verge of death, Shun decides to accept the quest and starts leveling up, while the others aren't. All right, so from what I know, this is a video game anime, I think, or at least it's like that, because I hear it get compared with Sword Art Online like all the time. So that makes me think there's like some video game angle to it, but maybe not. But the way that this is kind of going, I don't think that this actually is a video game, but I think it kind of sounds like it. And it's definitely fantasy, as we see here. So yeah, it doesn't sound awful, but it's just the fan base. The fan base kind of like just killed me on it. Like top 10 most, irritating fan bases. I know people usually talk about like Dragon Ball Z and things like that, but no, Solo Leveling, number one. Here we go. So I'm going to watch it, but if I'm not interested in it, I'm not going to hold myself into watching it. Unlike some of the other top shows up here where I'll watch purely just to be involved and to know what's going on in the community side of things, because I feel like that's my job, covering it. But I assume that most of you guys will be watching Solo Leveling. So we'll see how this goes. But anyways, we're going to move on here to the second most anticipated show of the winter season, and that is Classroom of the Elite Season 3. Now, I have seen the first two seasons of Classroom of the Elite, and I like it. I think it's a pretty fun show. I don't think it's one of the greatest things ever. I know a lot of people love this show, but I think it's fun. Whenever I finish the show, I usually find myself forgetting about a lot of what happened in the season. But as I watch it, I have a good time. So I'll be here for this one, and then I'll, forget it by the time, summer comes around. But anyways, the third season of Classroom of the Elite. The third semester kicks off in high gear with a special boot camp deep in the mountains. Forcibly separated into groups along gender and grade lines, the first, second, and third years alike must work together to survive the rugged terrain. Even worse, the leader of the group that comes in last will be expelled. Can Class D make it back to campus intact, or is this where they finally say goodbye to one of their own? So if you don't know anything about Classroom of the Elite, these are like, as the title suggests, these are like elite students. These are the students, I believe, that have the most money, that are the most well off. It's a lot about, like the class that they're in. And they then go to this school that's like really cool. It's like on an island, super advanced, everything. And they're all super smart, or they're supposed to be at least. So they can get a really good education. And, there are different games that they do and things like that where people, leave. And if a classroom, starts scoring really high and starts, doing these points that they can get, they go from Class D to Class C, B, and then A. There are 4 classes. And it's not that they switch a classroom, it's that their class now earns the title of being class whatever. And then they'll push others down, or maybe they'll get pushed down to the bottom if other classes do better. It's a lot like that. There's a lot of drama that goes on in the show. It's like a teen drama just on steroids because everybody's so smart and advanced technology. That's basically it. If that sounds interesting to you, enjoy. But I will definitely be watching Classroom of the Elite Season 3. Then we have Tsukimichi Moonlit Fantasy Season 2. The second season of Tsukimichi, after Makoto Misumi defeats Mitsurugi and Sophia Bolga, humanity is saved from the attacking demon army for the time being. The goddess is aware of Makoto's growing power, and she sees him as less of a nuisance and more of a rival. Makoto continues his journey to further expand his community of outcasts and connects with more humans. But will he be strong enough to hold off the coming storm? Now, full transparency, I have not seen Tsukimichi the first season, but I was always interested in it, but I just missed it. And so I'm taking this opportunity. The reason why I have it as I'm going to watch it here is this technically means I'm going to watch the first season and see how I feel about that. So I'm not beholden to actually watch the second season, but I'm putting this here so that way I remember to watch it, if that makes any sense. I think the first season sounds interesting. It had a decent ratings and a decent amount of people watched it. So I feel like maybe it's good. And so I am interested to check it out for that. But if you guys did watch the first season, are you excited for season 2? Let me know. And then we have Mashle, Magic, and Muscle Season 2. They have no synopsis other than they're adapting, the next arc in the, I think this is a manga. Now I watched Mashle Season 1, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun. I thought it was crazy. I watched the English dub, and I think that made my experience like 10 times better because it's so ridiculous. But if you guys don't know, so this is basically a world where a lot of people have magic, except for our main character. I believe his name is Mash, not Mashle, but whatever. And so since he doesn't have magic, he chooses to train his body to where he just has brute strength, and everyone else thinks he's a wizard because he's doing like these inhumane things. But he's just super duper strong. And that's basically it. There you go. And, it's in a school, the magic school. And, there's an evil class, the most powerful students are all like evil and they're trying to take things. It's a fun action comedy show. Watch it. It's good. So I'm going to be watching that. Then we have Chained Soldier from 7 Arcs. The demon tree, or the demon-filled dimension known as Mato, has opened to threaten humanity, and a type of peach tree that grows there yields fruit that confers special powers to those who eat it, giving humanity a fighting chance, but this only works for women. As such, as protectors of humanity, women rise in social status, while men are regulated to second-class citizens scraping for basic occupation and acknowledgement. Yuki Wakura, a domestic, crafty, and laborious high school senior whose sister was taken during a Mato event 5 years ago. While lamenting the hardships of the life ahead of him, an event opens before him. Dude, these sentences are long. And while being rescued from demons by Captain Kyota of the Anti-Demon Corps, she converts his power as her slave and turns him into a mighty beast mount that mows down the demons. However, there's a surprising price to pay for being her slave, and it's not him who has to pay it. So I looked into this because the synopsis, I was just kind of like, I can't tell if I like this or not. Like, some of this is like so ridiculous that I'm like, I have to watch this. And some of this is like, it just sounds like, anime. And so I looked into it, and it had really decent reviews, and a lot of people have read the manga. And so that makes me think that this is not only going to be a popular show this season, but probably one of the most talked about and maybe one of the most enjoyed shows of the season, which made me really excited to check it out. So I'm not holding myself to watching the entire season, but I'm definitely going to give it, a fair shot. Going to probably watch the first few episodes, see how I feel, and then we'll go from there. But that is Chained Soldier. Then we have Delicious in Dungeon from Studio Trigger. When a young adventurer, Laios, and his company are attacked and soundly thrashed by a dragon deep in a dungeon, the party loses all of its money and provisions. And a member. They're eager to go back and save her, but there is just one problem. If they set out with no food or coin to speak of, they're sure to starve on the way. But Laios comes up with a brilliant idea. Let's eat the monsters, slimes, basilisks, and even dragons. None are safe from the appetites of these dungeon-crawling gourmands. So I think that, this is just a comedy fantasy show, basically a cooking show with just, a plot of let's go save someone just thrown in there as just like the catalyst to get the story going. And so they're just going to try to make gourmet dishes out of fantasy demon creatures. Sounds like a fun time to me. I'm going to be here. It sounds fun. The animation looks nice. Obviously it's coming from Studio Trigger. This sounds like a lot of fun. So I'm probably going to watch, the first couple episodes, see how I feel, because comedy anime can definitely be hit or miss. And if, the comedy's not working for me, I'll stop watching. But, it sounds fun to me. Then we have bottom tier character Tomozaki's Second Stage. Now, the reason why I don't have this here is because this is a sequel. I have not seen the first season, and I'm not interested to watch the first season. The first season never caught my attention, and so I chose not to watch it, and I am not going to watch the second season for the same reason as that I did not watch the first. But if you guys are a fan of this show, hopefully you guys enjoy season 2, but that's just me. I'm not interested, so I'm not going to watch it. Then we have The Dangers in My Heart Season 2. Full watch. I'm going to watch this entire thing. Obviously, I enjoyed the first season quite a bit. I didn't think it was perfect. I didn't think it was one of the greatest anime that came out this year. I know a lot of people did. For me, there were a couple things that I think that the story could have used to make it fire on all cylinders a little bit more. I felt that the premise and the intrigue of a lot of the ideas was very interesting, but I felt like they didn't go all the way as far as they could, especially in a comedy anime, where I think if you go even further and just push those limits of reality all the way, I think it gets really, really funny. So I'm definitely going to watch season 2 because I think it's going to be better. Also, we watched the trailer like a couple episodes ago. The music was a bop, dude. So I'm obviously going to be here for that. But and I love romance, slice of life anime. That's like my bread and butter. So excited to watch this. Then we have A Sign of Affection from Ajaido. With these hands, I want to tell you that I love you. Yuki, a deaf college student, is struggling one day when an upperclassman from her school, Itsuomi, helps her out. Itsuomi isn't put off at all by her lack of hearing and interacts with her naturally. As he gradually opens up a new world to her, Yuki begins to develop feelings for Itsuomi. Thus begins the pure love story of Yuki, a deaf college girl, and Itsuomi, her upperclassman who travels the world with her. Now, once again, slice of life romance, but I also get a lot of A Silent Voice vibes with this. If you guys don't remember, in A Silent Voice, which is one of my favorite anime films and favorite films of all time, the main girl, oh no, how did I forget her name? Okay, I'm just going to die now because I don't remember her name. But anyways, the deaf girl, she was, I'm sure I'll remember here in a little bit, and it's going to just make me upset because we're going to be like 2 shows down and I'll be like, that's the name. But anyways, she was deaf. Now, it's a little bit different because Ishida was, mean to her. He bullied her. Shoko, there it is. Got it. I'm so smart. So Ishida was very mean to Shoko when they were in elementary school, and then they kind of have to work through that as they're older. Now they're just meeting in high school, and they have feelings for each other. So this sounds like it's just a kind of a different approach to things. Still a romance show. Obviously, that's my bread and butter. It looks like it has really nice animation, and the manga had stellar reviews. So I'm very excited to check this out. And then we have the third season of Blue Exorcist. It's crazy. I think the first season came out in 2011, then the second season came out in like 2017, and now we're finally getting the third season. I don't know why this show it's like ReZero. The show gets a new season like every 7 years. It's crazy. Now, I'm definitely going to check this out. I've never seen Blue Exorcist. I know it's one of the most popular, at least the first season is one of the most popular anime of all time. And so I figured this is now my chance to watch it because I've said this many times on the show. It's very hard to go back when you cover the seasons like I do. It's very hard to find time to go back and watch the classics. Now, when they reboot something or when they continue it, that gives me the opportunity to go back and to check it out. So I'm using this opportunity to check out Blue Exorcist, and I'm very excited to do so. And then we have Banished from the Hero's Party. I decided to live a quiet life in the countryside season 2. Now, the first season had no interest. I had no interest in watching it. That's what I meant to say. And it also didn't get that many great reviews from what I saw on my anime list. And so that gave me extra reason to not watch it. So I'm not going to check out the second season. But if you guys are enjoying this show, I hope that you are excited. Then we have Hokkaido Gals Are Super Adorable. I think we've talked about this show before, or at least, I almost spoke about it, because sometimes with the Otaku Experience, I'll make the headlines like the night before, or the list of headlines the night before, and then the next morning, a couple more stories could drop, and then I have to sub out ones that I already chose, and this may have been one of those, or I could have actually spoken about it. I don't remember. I read so much news, and I talk about things, I just don't remember anymore. Snowflakes aren't the only things dropping in Hokkaido. So are Jaws. Thanks to the super adorable gals who are turning the icy city into a hotbed of fashion and fun. Brace yourself for a winter storm of laughs, love, and killer outfits as these gals prove that being cute is an all-season affair. Here, Frostbite meets Fashionista. I love how timely this is. This is a winter show. This is great because, I know winter starts in December, but it starts in like the last 2 weeks of December. So like winter hasn't even started yet, guys. Winter starts like this week. It's ridiculous. So it's good to have a snowy show. It's nice and cozy. Get yourself a blanket, cuddle up with a loved one or something like that, and just enjoy a comedy anime. So I'm definitely going to be checking this out, as well as how popular the source material is. I feel like I would be remiss to not watch it. I'm surprised how low it is on the poll here. This is like the number 10 most anticipated show or something like that. With how popular the manga is, I feel like it should be much higher. So I feel like people either don't know it's coming out or they're just not really thinking about it. So don't be surprised if this is one of the most popular shows of the season. That I'm not saying that that's my prediction, but just keep an eye out for it. And then we have The Witch and the Beast. It all started with the 17 Origins, whose powers were passed down to individuals who still exist around the world today. A man carrying a coffin and a girl with the eyes of a beast appear in a town. The girl was once cursed by a witch and now searches for her in order to undo the curse. Is the witch who appears before them the query they've been searching for? And how can the curse be undone? This quest for revenge against an evil witch begins rolling when a beast captures the witch. This magnificent and intense dark fantasy begins now. Now, this synopsis is not as good as the synopsis I read before when I was looking into this show. I think I read the one that was on my anime list, or maybe I read the synopsis of the manga, but they reworded it and it was a lot shorter. And I found that it was super interesting, so I'm definitely going to watch it for that. But if I read this synopsis, I feel like this one wouldn't hook me as much. I'm excited for the really dark tone. I think it's going to be one of the more violent shows, which is fun. And I don't know. I love the darker fantasy stuff. Those things have always been super interesting to me. So I'm excited to check this out. And then we have Metallic Rouge. Metallic Rouge takes place in a world where humans and androids coexist. The story follows Rouge, an android girl who is on a mission on Mars with her partner Naomi. The mission is to murder 9 artificial humans who are hostile to the government. Now, this one sounds interesting to me, but it's also an original anime, and sometimes those can be really hit or miss. So the reason why I have this as maybe watching is I'm going to watch just one episode. That's all I'm holding myself to, and we'll see how I feel after that. And who knows, maybe I'll keep going, maybe I'll stop. I really like the artwork. I love the studio that makes it. So I think that there's a lot of things going for this, but I don't know yet. And the synopsis, I feel, could have been, made it better, so that way I'm more intrigued into watching it. But anyways, guys, what are your thoughts on Metallic Rouge? All right, then we have Urusei Yatsura Season 2. Now, this is the second season of the 2022 reboot of Urusei Yatsura that ended back in winter of this year, and it's going to be starting in winter of next year. Lum, the gorgeous daughter of an invading race on Oni aliens, is smitten with a high school student, Ataru Moroboshi, a dedicated womanizer. Ataru is unfazed by Lum's fierce electric shock attacks and continues his daily hunt for pretty girls. With a host of other unique characters, including classmate Shinobu, elegant shrine maiden Sakura, Lum's best friend Oyuki, Benten, and Ran, Buddhist monk Sherry, Ten, the little brat, heir to the wealthy family Shotaro Mendo, and the secretly female beauty Ryunosuke. A classic slapstick love comedy where anything goes. Now, the thing about Urusei Yatsura is I didn't love it. I really loved the first few episodes, but as it went on, I found the show to be less and less funny, to the point where I actually just stopped watching it altogether. I do intend to go back and finish it, but it got to the point where I felt that things weren't as funny anymore. And I'm excited to see if maybe that was just like a low hump in the source material, and it gets better and it goes back up. So that'll be interesting to see. I at least want to check it out. And also Lum is like one of the best girls like of all time. Anyways, my instant death ability is so overpowered, no one in this world stands a chance against me. Awakening to absolute chaos and carnage on a school trip, Yoguri Takato, why did I say it like that? Takato discovers that everyone in his class has been transported to another world. He had somehow managed to sleep through the entire ordeal himself, missing out on the gift powers bestowed upon the others by a mysterious sage who appeared to transport them. Even worse, he and other classmates were ruthlessly abandoned by their friends, left as bait to distract a nearby dragon. Although not terribly bothered by the thought of dying, he reluctantly decides to protect his lone companion. After all, the lowly 1000 monster does not stand a chance against his secret power to invoke the instant death without a single thought, if he can stay awake long enough to bother using it, that is. Now, I'm going to be totally honest, the reason why I'm not watching this synopsis just did not grab me at all. This just did not sound interesting to me, and holds true now. I'm still not interested, so I'm not going to be checking this out. But if you guys are interested in this, I hope that you enjoy it. Then we go to the wrong way to use healing magic, and I think that these are actually our last two here in our top 30. Let me see. If I zoom out, yeah, okay. So this is actually the last one. Is the wrong way to use healing magic. Shinei Animation and Studio ad. An ordinary walk home from school turns into an epic journey for Usato. After suddenly being dropped into another world with 2 fellow students, Usato learns he was summoned there by accident. But things turn around when he discovers a unique aptitude for healing magic. Now he trains beyond human limitations and using his self-healing abilities to gain absurd strength and unrivaled stamina. Now, can I talk? Okay. Once again, with this question mark sign, I'm going to only check out the first episode. I thought it was kind of interesting, but not something I want to be like, I'm going to check out, a decent amount of this show. So I'll watch the first episode, see how I feel, and if I like it, I'll move forward. Now, guys, there are other shows here that we could definitely talk about, like The Tales of Wedding Rings, which I'm going to give 1 episode, The Foolish Angel Dances with the Devil, which I'm giving 1 episode, Dr. Elise, which I'm giving 1 episode. These shows I'm not watching. High Card Season 2 I'm watching because I watched Season 1. This show I'm going to check out 1 episode. I'm going to be watching Buchigiri because it's the new MAPPA show, and I'm surprised it's this low just because it's an original show. Don't be surprised if this once again becomes not one of the biggest shows, but definitely a show that people are talking about that I don't even know why this isn't even in the top 30. Like, that's ridiculous to me. Then we have Sengoku Yoku, which I'm going to check out. And then I think that was the last one. Yeah, the rest of these I'm not checking out. But that's it, guys. I don't know why I got so raspy there. Those are the top 30 shows. And then, some of the other ones that I'm going to be checking out in this anime season. So starting out with these shows, we have Solo Leveling Classroom of the Elite Season 3, Tsukimichi Moonlit Fantasy Season 2, Mashle Magic and Muscle Season 2, Chained Soldier, Delicious in Dungeon, Bottom Tier Character Tomozaki Second Stage, The Dangers in My Heart Season 2, A Sign of Affection, Blue Exorcist Season 3, Banished from the Heroes Party Season 2, Hokkaido Girls Are Super Adorable, The Witch and the Beast Metallic Rouge, Urusei Yatsura Season 2, My Instant Death Ability is So Overpowered, The Wrong Way to Use Healing Magic, and then these shows down here. So obviously, I do recommend you guys go to AniChart yourself. It's my preferred way to look at the anime season coming up. And you can sort it through members, like the amount of people that are excited to watch it. You can sort it through the start date. You can sort it through however way you want. They have different options up here. If you click sort, you can do it by the title. So it would be alphabetical order, next airing episode, popularity, score, studio, start date, end date, and date added. And so there are plenty of ways you can go and check this out. And then, you can kind of keep yourself a little bit of a list to be involved in the anime season going forward. Your biases are going to be different from mine. So I'm interested in some of these shows, but not some of these other ones. Your taste could be totally opposite from mine. Maybe there's a bit of overlap, but you're interested in watching shows like Banished from the Heroes Party or like Bottom Tier Character Tomozaki or things like that. So I definitely want to make sure that you guys still have the chance to watch those shows. These are just the shows that I'm going to check out. And like I say before, when there's a show that I'm not interested in, if it performs really, really well and everybody's talking about it and it gets really good reviews, I will still most likely check it out just out of mere curiosity, even if the synopsis did not grab me. I'm still open to being wowed by something that I wasn't interested in. But in a time where I have to, where I make videos about anime seasons and I talk about it with you guys on the Otaku Experience, there's only so many shows that I can myself make a commitment to, and I want those shows to be shows that I'm interested in. I hope you guys understand, and I hope that you guys enjoy the winter 2024 anime season. All right, so obviously one of the biggest anime films that we've been talking about, not only all year, but specifically recently, is Hayao Miyazaki's The Boy and the Heron. It's been great to hear all of the praise going on with the film. I reviewed it, I believe, in the last episode, so you guys can check that out if you want to hear my thoughts on the movie. Long story short, I loved it. But it is going around already getting hecka award nominations. At the end of the year, we always get award nominations for like game stuff. Game of the Year just happened. Anime awards, obviously, at the beginning of next year. Golden Globes, the Oscars, everything like that. I believe the Grammys and the Emmys already happened. But we start getting all of these award shows. And so we are now getting the movie and anime award shows coming up. And The Boy and the Heron is doing really, really well. So this comes to us from Anime News Network, where they say, The Boy and the Heron, Suzume, the Super Mario Bros. Movie, received Golden Globe nominations. The Hollywood Foreign Press Association announced nominees for the 81st Golden Globe Awards on Monday. Hayao Miyazaki's The Boy and the Heron, or literally How Do You Live, feature film, Makoto Shinkai Suzume, and the Super Mario Bros. Movie, nominations in the Best Motion Picture category, or the Best Motion Picture Animated category. The Boy and the Heron and its composer Joe Hisashi received a nomination for Best Original Score Motion Picture. Based, that score is amazing. The song Peaches from the Super Mario Bros. Movie got a nomination for Best Original Song. Based, the association nominated Super Mario Bros. Movie for Cinematic and Box Office Achievement. Stupid award. A new category that includes nominees from the year's most acclaimed, high-earning, and or most viewed films that garnered extensive global audience support and attained cinematic excellence. Other nominees in Best Motion Picture Animated category include Elemental, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, and Wish, but those are not Japanese films, so that's why we do not talk about those here. Inuo was nominated for Best Motion Picture Animated at the 80th Golden Globes. Hayao Miyazaki's The Wind Rises was nominated for Best Foreign Language Film at the 71st Golden Globes, and Mamoru Hosada's Mirai was nominated for Best Motion Picture Anime Awards at the 76th Golden Globes. And then they talk more about the Hollywood Foreign Press down here, but we don't really care about that. Going over to the Critics' Choice Awards, as we see The Boy and the Heron does really well here too. The Critics' Choice Awards revealed its nominees on Wednesday, and Hayao Miyazaki's latest feature film, The Boy and the Heron, is nominated for Best Animated Feature. Additionally, Godzilla Minus One is nominated for Best Foreign Language Film. The winners will be announced on January 14th. I know that we didn't talk much about Godzilla Minus One, other than maybe referencing the name of the movie every now and then. But I love that movie too. It was awesome. It's just not anime or manga, which is why I haven't spoken about it, but very happy to see Japanese cinema getting a lot more respect lately. Repeatedly, the Chicago Film Critics Association awarded The Boy and the Heron with its Best Animated Feature Award on Tuesday. Godzilla Minus One won the Best Use of Visual Effects Award. The Boy and the Heron has been nominated for Best Motion Picture, Animated, and Joe Hisashi nominated for his score in the Best Original Score Motion Picture category of the 81st Golden Globe Awards. And then I think they talk more about some other awards and things like that of how it's doing here. And this is really awesome. Like I said, I'd been predicting it all year that this was going to sweep the animated awards, and I think that Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse will still get nominated for Best Picture at the Oscars, just because a lot of Hollywood insiders believe that too. And I also think Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is a better film than The Boy and the Heron, but I'm still happy that The Boy and the Heron, if this is Hayao Miyazaki's last film, I want him to once again get that award. Because I think that Spider-Verse getting a Best Picture nomination is, that's a award in and of itself. Like, congratulations, you're one of the 4 animated movies who ever did that, especially in a climate where a lot of the people in the Academy still view animation as a lesser medium and view animation as its own genre. We still have those goofy people doing those things. And so the fact that it would still get nominated for Best Picture is just a massive honor in and of itself, in my opinion. And so I think that that would be okay. And then give The Boy and the Heron the animated awards. I think that that'd be great as well. I'd be fine if both got nominated for Best Picture. In my opinion, they're 2 of just the best films of the year. And so, I think that that should be how that plays out. But are you guys excited about The Boy and the Heron doing this well already at the award circuit? Like I am. I am so excited to see how this plays out. I think it's going to win a lot. I think it'll be this and Spider-Verse that kind of tie it out in the animated category, which is good with me, even though I think that Suzume is a better film than The Boy and the Heron. I think that I do acknowledge that I think The Boy and the Heron might be worthy of more awards, if that makes any sense, just purely because of everything that goes into that movie. Shinkai has a long career ahead of him, but this could very well, I know that Miyazaki's working on his next film already, but this may be his last film just purely because of his age. So we don't know, and we'll see how this plays out, but I'm very excited and very happy to see how The Boy and the Heron is doing. Something that we haven't really had a chance to talk about too much is the My Hero Academia live action film. The thing that we haven't spoken much about it is because everyone keeps forgetting about it, because they talk about it and it gets a headline, and then they don't talk about it for like 8 months. And they talk about it and it gets a headline, and they don't talk about it for 8 months. But it looks like it might be actually happening this time in light of the big success of One Piece. This comes to us from Anime Corner, where they say Netflix's My Hero Academia live action film. Writer answers whether this is really happening. It's a big one. The previously announced My Hero Academia live-action film by Netflix just got an update from its screenplay writer, Joby Harold from Army of the Dead. Harold revealed the film is something that he's actively working on and is super excited to bring it to fans. Absolutely, it's something I'm working on and loving working on. I'm excited to do it and get it out there. It's a big one. I can speak to the fact that it is live action, and I think that's probably all I can speak to, but it's a big deal in my life. I'm really enjoying it. It's amazing. It's an amazing opportunity, and I'm really excited about it. And they talk about the My Hero Academia manga and the anime down here. This is, that's very exciting to hear, like how the Naruto writer said that as well. Now, here's the problem for me, is you look at the stuff that Joby Harold has done. Now, to be fair, there are some good things here, like John Wick 3 did great. I personally enjoyed The Flash, but I know a lot of people didn't, so I would still probably qualify this as a negative thing, but for me personally, I enjoyed The Flash. Edge of Tomorrow is fantastic. I enjoy Transformers Rise of the Beast, but it's definitely one of my least favorite of the franchise. As someone who grew up with the Transformers films, the Michael Bay Transformers films. Love them or hate them, they're my childhood. And so yeah. And then Army of the Dead, the Zack Snyder film, was okay. I don't really remember it too much. This movie, the King Arthur movie, got bad reviews. Obi-Wan Kenobi, I don't know if this is the documentary or if this is the show, but either way, I think that show, while it wasn't awful, definitely did not perform all that great. So it's kind of a mixed bag here. And that's the thing. It's not a purely bad thing like I found with the Naruto writer, where she seemed like a really nice person. She seemed and sounded very authentic and excited about working on that film. But we looked at her career and she only had one thing that was reviewed, and it was reviewed awfully. Now, on the contrary with this one, this is more of a mixed bag. Like we have, I've never seen this. What is this? Oh, okay. So that's bad. This movie got bad reviews. Obi-Wan didn't turn out all that great. Rise of the Beast was okay. Army of the Dead was okay. I don't know anything about Robin Hood. Bad. My Blind Brother. Okay, that one was pretty good. Edge of Tomorrow, obviously great. The Flash, a mixed bag. And John Wick Chapter 3, obviously fantastic. And I don't know what this is either. This is a short film. And so we have a mixed bag here of like about half of it is like bad, half of it is good, and then there's a little bit in the middle that's like okay. And so he's kind of all over the place and a little bit inconsistent, which is what scares me. I'm okay with, writers being hired on something, and if they have a few bad things, that's okay, but I like to see a consistency of, even if I don't enjoy the films myself, I like to see a consistency of the mass public enjoying a thing, whether that's critics and audiences, as well as box office success. I think that's just very important. And it scares me that we're seeing these studios give these writers, who might not necessarily be bad, but definitely leave more to be desired, with these massive IPs, especially in this time where we're trying to get anime live actions off their feet. They've been beaten so much, like you're just beating a dead horse over and over. And then One Piece kind of came and really helped bring life back into it and give hope again. And now, and I think that Yu Yu Hakusho, even though I haven't seen it, just because no one's really talked about it and I totally forgot about it, even though that Yu Yu Hakusho seems to be doing pretty decently with its reaction. So that definitely helps, but that's not a big enough name as One Piece where that's actively helping bring out the anime live action adaptations in Hollywood. And so we have Naruto coming, we have My Hero Academia coming, and we have writers that leave more to be desired. And so I'm not saying that My Hero Academia is going to be bad, because obviously he's done movies that I've enjoyed. Transformers: Rise of the Beast. Army of the Dead was like a 5 out of 10. So it wasn't bad, but it's just unremarkable. Edge of Tomorrow was really, really good. The Flash I enjoyed personally. And John Wick Chapter 3. Like these 4, I think, I'd be okay with that. But then we have stuff like King Arthur, or like Awake, or Obi-Wan Kenobi, where it's more mixed, or Robin Hood. And we have those things where people just didn't like it. And that is definitely a scary thing when we're trying to get this medium off the ground. And if these really, it's different when you have a smaller IP and that doesn't work out. But once you get like these bigger names, like with One Piece, or like with Naruto, or like with My Hero Academia, or like Death Note, and they're bad, you're setting the anime live action area back more and more and more, unless people will take the anime area seriously, because they saw the live action, it was mid, it sucked. Now they don't want to go watch and check out the original, even if the original is leagues better. So this scares me, but he sounds excited about it. But I mean, what else is he going to say? He's going to be like, hey, talk about how you're working on the My Hero Academia movie. What are you supposed to be like? Yeah, it sucks. I hate it. I hate this anime. I hate it. I hate the fan base. I dread it every day. No, he's not going to say that. He's going to say, it's something I'm working on and I'm loving it. I'm excited. And it's going to be awesome. He's going to say stuff like that. And so that's like his job to say that. And so I get it, but I'm not as nervous as I am about the Naruto film, but I'm still nervous, and we'll definitely have to keep an eye out on this. All right, so something that's been in the news a lot lately for good reasons and for bad reasons, obviously, with the manga controversy is Jujutsu Kaisen. season 2, and just the Jujutsu Kaisen franchise altogether. So the manga has also been getting a lot of leaks. I heard that something really controversial happened recently, and I'm not going to spoil that here if you haven't heard about it, but I heard about it and I was like, oh, really? But yeah, so that'll be interesting to see whenever that gets animated. But according to the author, Gege Akutami, the Jujutsu Kaisen manga might be over within a year. Hello, my mic just fell. Sorry about that. The Jujutsu Kaisen manga will likely finish publication within a year, according to bombshell remark made by series creator Gege Akutami at Jump Festa. Jump Festa 2024 brought several announcements for the Jujutsu Kaisen fans this year. The Shueisha conventions in Tokyo revealed that the manga series is tipped to pass 90 million copies in circulation, and Volume 25 will be released on January 4th, 2024. However, it was a comment by Akutami that seeing most fan attention, a handwritten message was read out to fans stating, "This is probably my last festival." This reportedly left many fans in the audience stunned, with a "huh" heard from multiple attendees, according to Oricon. Jujutsu Kaisen's Jump Festa panel also built excitement for upcoming scenes from the manga, with the anime voice actors reading iconic lines from upcoming Culling Games arc. If the manga is set to end in 2024, it would be undoubtedly a seismic point for Shonen Jump, but ironically in line with Akutami's style. The author often divides fans with their direct approach, unafraid to end character stories, just as they're picking up steam. Since its debut, Jujutsu Kaisen has consistently ranked as I don't care. So yeah, I'm not going to say anything about this last sentence here because I know some of the leaks that happened. Anyways, so I'm not going to talk about that. But yes, this is something that Gege Akutami definitely is while people love Jujutsu Kaisen, he's definitely one of those more controversial authors because he's just like, yeah, this is how it is. Okay, bye. And then people just have to like kind of accept it and just sit with it. Even if they don't like it. And so just him being like, yeah, this is probably my last one. Like, there's no like big announcement. Like, guys, I know you guys know that we're nearing the end. I just want to let you guys know that there are X many chapters left. We got a year left. And this is going to be awesome. He just goes, yeah, it's probably, holding the mic, yeah, it's probably my last festival here. Yeah, it's really nice. All right, good, cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And everybody's like, huh? What? It's just over? We didn't know that. Okay, cool. Thanks for letting us know. There's no big announcement about it. It's just kind of over, and he's just okay with that. And the fans were just kind of like, now I'm okay with this. I've never been the biggest Jujutsu Kaisen fan. I think that this show is just okay. I think Jujutsu Kaisen, I'm gonna get so much hate for this. Jujutsu Kaisen, let's be real, guys. It's like a 6 out of 10. Okay, let's just be real. I think that season 2 is definitely better than season 1. I think that the movie is still the best that the franchise has been, and it still has never reached that peak again. I think it's like a 6 out. It's a fun, above average show, but it's not like a great thing. So I'm okay with this. That's just my opinion. But I know a lot of people love it. I'm ready for all the dislike bombing. Get ready. But it's one of those shows that that never really grabbed me fully. I'm interested in it. I still enjoy watching it, but I've never been one of those like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen in the next episode? Like I'm not one of those guys. So I'm okay with this, but I definitely think the way it was announced and the way that it came out was very, very surprising and very in style for Gege Akutami, which probably should not have been surprising. I probably should have guessed, yeah, he's probably just gonna nonchalantly, just be like, oh yeah, it's over. Like I feel like I feel like if it wasn't like this, he just wouldn't have even said it, and then the final chapter would have came out, and at the end it would have just said the end, and he just wouldn't have said anything, and then he'd be like, oh yeah, it's over, by the way, yeah. And then fans would have found out that way. But I think this is probably the better way, so now fans can start preparing themselves. You have a year, prepare yourself. And yeah, so this means that he thinks, since he says it's his last one, this means that he's thinking it's going to be over by the time this next festival is. If we go to Jump Fest 2023, or 2025, Jump Fest December 17th. So this is probably, going to be a year, like literally a year from basically like today. And so it's going to be, over probably by December or November, maybe even October. And he's just going to be over. All right, guys, that's it. That's it for Jujutsu Kaisen. Hope you enjoyed it. It's over. Have fun. But yeah, no, we'll definitely be talking about this when it ends. It'll definitely be a big shock to like the entire anime and manga community. It'll be a shock definitely to the public, the publishers who do this. And it'll be just really fascinating to see how the community responds to this. But yeah. All right, guys, and we have 2 breaking news stories that actually dropped right before I filmed. And that is this. I'm kind of going to speed through these just because I don't, know a lot about this. So according to My Anime List in their news section, Chainsaw Man is getting a sequel anime movie. So it looks like we're not getting a season 2. We're getting a movie as the next thing. The Jump Superstage Red at Jump Festa 2024 announced a sequel anime movie to the television anime adaptation of Tatsuki Fujimoto's Chainsaw Man manga on Sunday, titled Chainsaw Man Movie Reze Hen. The panel also unveiled a teaser visual pictured and a teaser promo. The visual is awesome. The first season animated by I don't care. And then here's the little visual here. Okay. Oh, they're just animating the poster. Oh, okay. We get a little bit of animation here. Chainsaw Man. Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised, I guess I could say, but I did think that it was probably going to be just a season 2, and this was just going to be the next arc. I haven't read the manga, but I knew that the Reze arc was next, just based on everything people were talking about. Reze just kept coming up, and people were like, I'm so excited to see how they, deal with her in the next arc. And so we'll definitely talk about this more as that comes out. We don't know when this is coming out. The fact that it just got animated and the fact that this is MAPPA, I think, we can expect it sadly to come out like in 2024, like probably late 2024, because they animated the Jujutsu Kaisen 0 movie in 4 months. They're probably going to try to do the same thing here, and it's awful. Hopefully things change, and I'm okay waiting until like 2025, maybe even like early 2026 for like this to be done in the way that it needs to be done and not just rushed and shipped out. But it's MAPPA, so don't be surprised if this is coming out, in like 8 months. So there you go. We got an announcement for that, and that's interesting. Now here's the other story, breaking news, and this one blew my mind before we started. One Piece anime remake by Wit Studio and Netflix announced, which is weird because the anime is still going. I don't know why this is the case. One Piece is getting a remake anime project by Wit Studio and Netflix, starting with East Blue, which is the first arc, if you guys don't know, with a teaser of Romance Dawn. This is the title of the first manga chapter, as well as the first episode of the live-action series. The announcement came at the end of Jump Festa 2024, where they revealed new information for the ongoing anime. You can watch in the announcement video below. So the 25th anniversary of it. In this interconnected world, let's embark on a journey. Once again, I'm going to speed this up. This is taking too long. And it looks like they're animating some stuff. I can't tell if this is with an all-new animation team. Produced by Wit Studio, The One Piece. First things, crew, I think we about 10 minutes should do. It's it looks like Toei's also involved. They're just getting a new team. So from what I know, the anime that's ongoing is not stopping. They're just doing a new one on top of it. And I guess it's just going to come out and release on Netflix. Now, this makes sense in a couple ways. The live action series just came out, and so they're definitely seeing people probably interested to check out One Piece, but also One Piece is over 1,000 episodes, and it's like, I don't want to watch that. And maybe they're thinking about that. But also, I think that if you look at purely the animation quality of the first few episodes of the original One Piece anime, not that it's bad, but it's definitely lesser quality than the more modern animation that it's getting nowadays, because it's been going on for so long. And so I think that they're also looking at the fact that they can just reanimate a lot of this stuff. Now, they said it's a new animation team. Are they bringing the same voice actors back? Are they getting a totally new cast of actors to be involved in it? Are they bringing the same composer back to do the score? Or are they doing a new this announcement just really kind of I'm like, what? My brother, he's going through the anime after watching the live action. He loves the anime, and his thought was that that this was purely to redo the first few arcs. And so, and he also figured that maybe they would shorten some things and make it a little bit more condensed, like the live action show did. So that way people don't have to watch 1,000 episodes, because now that there's a more mainstream audience for it. I mean, One Piece was already one of the most mainstream anime, but now that there's even more of a mainstream audience for it, there's definitely that urge for people to check it out and maybe condense it a little bit more. So that way there's only, by the end of it, there's maybe a few hundred episodes instead of over 1,000. I don't know how they're going to do that. Maybe they'll cut out some arcs. Maybe they'll condense it a lot. I don't really know how this is going to pan out. This is just brand new breaking news. I don't know what to say. I'm just a little starstruck about it. I'm just surprised, but also not. This is just a really, really weird piece of news. And because of how new it is, I didn't see anyone talking about it yet. And so I'm sure that people are already talking about it by the time you see this episode. But yeah, One Piece is getting a remake. Okay. All right, guys, we're going to move on into the audience rankings now. Because I'm a goof and because I woke up late today, I did not have time to make up the graphics. So we're just going to have to use Google Images for this. So starting with anime trending, we have at number 1, The Apothecary Diaries, which went up 1 spot to number 1. Spy X Family Season 2 went down 1 spot to number 2. Frieren Beyond Journey's End has spent 3 weeks at number 3. The Eminence in Shadow Season 2 went up 1 spot to number 4. The 100 Girlfriends Who Really, 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 Really Love You went down 1 spot to number 5. Goblin Slayer Season 2 went up 4 spots to number 6. The Rising of S.H.I.E.L.D. Hero Season 3 stayed at number 7 for 2 weeks. Undead Unluck has gone down 2 spots to number 8. The Vexations of a Shut-In Vampire Princess is a re-entry into the top 10. And Dr. Stone New World Part 2 went down 2 spots to number 10. Going over to the Anime Corner rankings, we have at number 1, The Eminence in Shadow Season 2, which went up 8 spots from rank 9 to rank 1, and that got 6.13% of the vote. Frieren Beyond Journey's End went up 3 spots from rank 5 to rank 2, and that got 5.39% of the vote. Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2 has stayed at the same rank at number 3, and that got 5.38% of the vote. Ragnarok Crimson went up 2 spots from rank 6 to rank 4, and that got 4.71% of the vote. The Apothecary Diaries went down 1 spot from rank 4 to rank 5, and that got 4.33% of the vote. Spy X Family Season 2 went down 5 spots from rank 1 to rank 6, and that got 4.18% of the vote. The 100 Girlfriends Who Really, 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 Really Love You went up 1 spot from rank 8 to rank 7, and that got 3.88% of the vote. Undead Unluck went up 3 spots from rank 11 to rank 8, and that got 2.85% of the vote. The Vexations of a Shut-In Vampire Princess is a re-entry into the top 10 at number 9, and that got 2.73% of the vote. And Girlfriend Season 2 went up 7 spots from rank 17 to rank 10 with the Shino arc. Let's go, baby! And that got 2.68% of the vote. On a side note, Girlfriend Season 2, peak fiction, guys, because it's doing like probably my favorite arc of the manga. So go watch it if you haven't. Go check it out. It's really, really good. All right, guys, and now we're going to move on into your comments or questions. If you want to get a comment or question read by me on the next episode of the Otaku Experience, just hop into the comment section below and literally leave your thoughts on whatever. You can talk about things I talked about. You can talk about unrelated things. You can give me recommendations. You can ask me questions. Anything like that, and I'll respond to it in the next episode. But this comes to us from the last episode of the Otaku Experience, which was about a week ago. And at number 1, or not number 1, but the first one we have is from Jaime Cardona. Just loved how weird The Boy and the Heron got. It was almost like horror at times. Great movie. It was definitely, The Boy and the Heron is not a kid's movie. I think that a lot of other Hayao Miyazaki films can definitely be watched and enjoyed by children, but I think The Boy and the Heron might either be boring or might be too complicated to understand fully and or scary all at the same time for kids. So it's definitely adult animation, or at least teenage animation at best. And I loved it. It's definitely, it's so weird. Some of the imagery is definitely scary. I loved it. I just love that movie. From Eli Craig 2601, I've now seen The Boy and the Heron 4 times, 3 times subtitled and once in the English dub. Awesome, dude. I'm so happy to be able to enjoy a new Miyazaki and Ghibli movie upon release. I have only recently in the past few years become a big fan of Studio Ghibli and Hayao Miyazaki and the incredible films they make. I thought Hayao Miyazaki was able to craft one of the most beautiful and emotionally moving films that I have ever seen. The main theme that really impacted me was the theme to build your tower and how we can create our worlds without malice, full of bounty, peace, and beauty through our actions. I don't know if this will be Miyazaki's last, but if it is, he has left an incredible legacy that I will cherish forever. Dude, you know what? Based. You know, I don't even have anything to say. I completely agree. Dude, that was perfectly said. I don't even have anything to respond to that with. That was just awesome. From 1001 Johnny, I've not been keeping up with the show, so if this is old news for you, personally, sorry. Have you looked into or started Pluto? I have not. I've heard of it, but I've not started it, and I've not started watching it, so sorry about that. I really only keep up with, like, anime that are airing and things like that, and it's really hard for me to try to, because I'm struggling with the stuff I'm already trying to watch, so it's hard for me to find new things. But anyways, yeah, I've not seen that, so sorry about that. Then from Cameron Harrington, which is the last one, I have no interest in the movie, mainly because there's been no marketing to tell us what the movie is about, and I didn't enjoy any of the last 4 out of 5 Ghibli movies, unfortunately, to the level of the OGs. Well, there wasn't any marketing in Japan, but once they started going for the international release, they definitely started marketing. We got posters, we got the English voice actors announcements, we got like 3 trailers, I think, like 2 in the Japanese and then 1 in the English dub. And so I definitely think that there were trailers that told you what the movie was about. Maybe you just didn't see those, but that's okay. But I'm surprised you didn't enjoy a lot of the more recent Ghibli films. I mean, what is it, Gerwig and the Witch or something like that? I know that did not get good reviews, so I just kind of avoided it because I like to keep Ghibli in a good state of mind. But yeah, no, that's definitely, yeah. I mean, if you didn't enjoy a lot of the more recent, like the last one from Hayao Miyazaki was like 10 years ago, but you know what I mean? That I definitely can understand why maybe you'd be a little more nervous. So maybe a streaming release will be good for you. So I don't know how you feel about that. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of the Otaku Experience. Thank you guys for leaving your comments and leave some comments on this episode. But hey, if you want to keep up with me outside of this show, you can always subscribe to me on my main YouTube channel, Kingtanic, where I also make some anime content in a less serious and unprofessional way. You can also follow me on Instagram at Kingtanic or follow me on Twitter at Kingtanic Israel. And if you're new to the Burnettwork, consider sticking around. We have some great shows for you to watch every day, including but not limited to Observations, Ladies of the PGS, Midnight Musings, K-Pasa PGS, Architects of Imagination, Physical Media, and Rob actually, I think last night just did a new Midnight Metal, I think. I could be wrong. And of course, there is the Otaku Experience. And with all that being said, guys, this episode comes to a close, and I will see you next time.